Alrighty, now without further ado, I'd like to welcome up Alex Parmley, who's going to talk about strategy, from what I understand. So, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alex Parmley. I'm Chief Executive at Waitaki District Council. It's a great pleasure to be here today to give a very brief talk. What is an early hour? Usually at this time I'm running around after 4 kids trying to get them breakfasted and ready for school, so this makes a nice change. I just want to acknowledge the organisers of this event as well, because it's really important in terms of where we're trying to get to as a district, and it's important we have a discussion on this. And I'm going to give a quick overview, firstly of our economy, a very quick snapshot of where it's at and what it's about, and then the district's economic strategy. So, overview of our economy. So, our economy is really driven by agriculture. In our GDP, we can see that mining has a disproportionate effect because of the value of gold. But essentially, over the past 2 decades, particularly due to the growth of irrigation, we've seen the growth of importance of agriculture and the businesses that support agriculture within our district. And just to give you some facts and figures on this, so in 1999, there were 36,000 cows in the district. And then last year we had 105,000 cows, so it tripled over 2 decades. And in terms of what that means to the economy, the dairy payout, back in 2002, it was about $56 million to the district. However, last year the dairy payout was $402 million. So that's not just that's driving the economy in terms of not just the farms, but also the businesses that support those farms. And you can see that in and around the town. However, in terms of employment, it's a bit of a different picture. So whilst mining was the biggest sector in terms of GDP, employment shows that agriculture and manufacturing and other businesses associated with that are dominant, mining less so in terms of employment. But if we look at jobs created in the last 10 years, mining and construction and hospitality stand out. And in the last year, on information that's being published today by Infometrics, manufacturing actually created 300 jobs in the last year within the district, many of those associated with businesses that are connected with our primary industry, agriculture. And agriculture and manufacturing continue to grow in value to the economy, but not in jobs numbers so much. In terms of employment, we've got to recognise it's also a competitive picture for employers. Our unemployment is tracking below the national average. And also in terms of the figure around NEETs, not in employment and education or training, where we were previously tracking above the national average, we've come down significantly. And I think we're going to hear about the Mayor's Task Force for Jobs, and we can see the impact of that scheme to actually help our young people get into employment and to get that figure down significantly. But there are strong headwinds in our economy, and we need to recognise that these are going to impact on our local businesses and our jobs market. So, as we said, agriculture is the driver of the economy, but it's facing increasing environmental regulation and requirements associated with the freshwater standards, associated with CO2, but also we need to recognise that global consumer preferences are changing as well in terms of the quality of products they want and the environmental credentials of those products. And this comes at a time when the price of milk on the global market is falling, particularly in our largest export market, China, where we can see there's a downturn in the economy. And Infometrics data out today shows that Waitaki dairy farming revenue falling $46 million last year on the previous year, and is predicted to fall another $51 million a year. So that's $100 million a year out of our district economy, which represents a 25% drop in the dairy payout over a 2-year period. So there's some challenges there as well. So I just wanted to talk briefly in the minutes I've got left about the economic development strategy for the district. So this is something that we've been working on with partners over the past couple of years. And it's important to say that, first of all, it's not a council strategy, it's a strategy for the district. We've developed very much co-designed with our partners at Runangaro Waitaki, and also engaged heavily in this process. And it sets a 10-year horizon as to where we want to get to as a district. And we've defined success in delivering this strategy as sustainable and inclusive growth. So sustainable in terms of both enduring growth, but also sustainable in terms of an environmental aspect as well. And inclusive growth in the respect of making sure that all of our community can benefit from growth, that it doesn't fall disproportionately to particular parts of our community. All of our community can benefit from it. And it sets some really ambitious targets. So it sees that through our 5 strategic programs, if we implement those successfully, we could grow GDP in our economy by between $70 and $145 million a year above projected growth, which equates to 1,350 additional jobs above projected growth if we're successful. But not only that, we've looked at this strategy in terms of that community wellbeing lens as well. So not just how do we grow jobs and how do we grow the economy, but how do we make sure that it's the right sort of growth for the district. So the analysis looked at the various wellbeing dimensions, so looking at environment, economy and community. And it projects that we'd be 9% better off across the wellbeing dimensions if we successfully implement this strategy. And the strategy is divided into 5 core programs, and I'm going to talk a little bit about those. So these are land and water, place, visitors, people development and business. And the people development one really underpins what we're doing and is a focus for what we're here to do today. So in terms of land and water, this is the lifeblood of our economy, but we need to work together as a district to ensure that we deal with the challenges that we face and adapt to the new environment. So it's about exploring land and water use optimisation and innovation within that, so that we can have a sustainable land use, an agricultural sector that changes with the changing global environment that we're operating in and is sustainable and continues to benefit our economy. In terms of place, this is very much focused on our town centres, so the CBD here in Oamaru, but also our district towns as well, and how we revitalise those. So how do we get more people using those town centres in the face of what are big changes within the retail sector and not seeing retail as the only answer for town centres now. And focusing on how our CBD and heritage development supports our thriving local economy and the role that plays in really attracting the workers we need and retaining the workers we need, attracting business and investment to our district. In terms of visitors, it's a small but significant part of our economy, and we see that continues to grow as part of this. But it's about not attracting necessarily more people to the district, but getting them to stay longer and to spend more within the district, and attracting people who value what we value as a community. In terms of business, it's about really how do we grow an entrepreneurial ecosystem in the district. So how do we create an environment where entrepreneurs can really thrive? And then finally, our people. This is the underpinning one. How do we ensure that we increase the skills base and increase the opportunities for our local people to take advantage of quality jobs within the area and deal with some of the disadvantages within our community. So increase opportunities for Maori and Pacifica young people in particular. So it's not just about those 5 key programs. We also are focused on the Waitaki story, which is about the story of this place and the community, who we are, what we're about, what we stand for, what our values are, but also where we're going as a district and getting that narrative right so that we can use it to retain and attract the best people and the best businesses to the district. I'm going to skip over some of these quite quickly because you'll get the slides after, you can see the details. So this is basically where we see the growth falling. Biggest portion within the land and water area and place. The business one is the smaller one, but it's probably a long burner that really. It's an investment that's going to pay off over a period more than 10 years as we help new businesses start up. But the picture in terms of jobs is slightly different. So we see that more jobs will be created in the visitor economy than any other sector, closely followed by the place-based work and land. So that's my quick canter through the strategy, hundreds of pages of documents and months worth of work. Hopefully you found that useful, and thank you very much for listening.